news that have been coming since the past couple of months. The Puri Jagannath temple is closed for the public. The authorities of the temple of Lord Jagannath in the pilgrim town on Sunday have announced this, and the temple closed for devotees because of the statewide lockdown imposed by the government. All religious places closed for public in Orissa as the city records the highest daily surge. So, with the capital registering the highest ever single day spike, the state of Orissa declaring the closure of all religious places like temples, mosques, gurudwaras, churches for devotees. In the state of Uttar Pradesh, the major Mathura temples banning the entry of devotees amid the COVID-19 surge. The two major temples of the Sapta Devalaya in Vrindavan on Saturday banning the entry of devotees in view of the rising COVID-19 cases. Gujarat Somnath temple closed for darshan in view of the surge in the COVID-19 infections. The Somnath Temple Trust announced that the temple will remain shut down for devotees for an indefinite period. And in the midst of all this, including vandalization of the temples, where one can see here in Tamil Nadu, the Chola era temple murtis beheaded. Technical glitch. And in the Tamil Nadu state, the Chola era temple murtis beheaded. This vandalization also happening because of the temples being closed and therefore not open to the public and not under monitoring. The murtis of the Chola era temple vandalized in Pudukkottai, Tamil Nadu. The devotee who went to the temple was shocked to find all the murtis in the temple in a beheaded state. He lodged a complaint with the local police later. The Kailasa Nada temple in a village in Pudukkottai is said to belong to the era of the Chola kings, with Shiva as the presiding deity, the temple housing other deities like Ganesha, Parvati, Murugan, Krishna, and Nandi. And all these murtis were discovered in a beheaded state, as one can see here. And now, Kailasa's temple experience. Now, in the times when COVID-19 is rampant and the ancient temples are in a lockdown because of the risk of widespread corona disease, the devotees of these temples visiting and having darshan of their gods and goddesses for thousands of years has been disabled. Yet, all these ancient sacred sentiments have come to a harming halt after the lockdowns have taken place. The religious fervor of the devotees is being lost due to the pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the e-Kailasa ecosystem and bringing all the ancient traditions of the online platforms on Kailasa TV, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, let's come to why deity worship in the first place. Deities are not mere idols, they are embodiment of ideals. We do not worship the idols, we worship the ideas represented through the idols. When the divine is present before him in a form he can see, touch, and relate to, the transmutation becomes an easy and joyful process. Second, deities in a real kshetra are always carved in the form of ancient masters and enlightened beings. Even though no longer in the body, they can be invoked through the name or form they used while in the physical plane. When we pray to the deity or chant its name, the corresponding divine vibration is automatically awakened and becomes available on the energy plane to guide and bless us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, we mastered the science of bringing the divine to the deities and expressing the divine through the deities. The whole science has been mastered in the Vedic tradition. The revival of temples will be the revival of world peace and world bliss. Revival of temple culture, deity worship, where people are made to look in. That is where the revival of Sanatana Dharma, Advaita Satya, is going to happen. Shiva saved Markandeya from death, and that became an independent deity, Kala Kala. Same way, he danced in ecstasy, and that action became Nataraja. Vishnu's very action of showering blessings on the world becomes Lakshmi. Brahma's very action of constantly sharing the wisdom becomes Saraswati. So, each of the actions of the ultimate becomes independent intelligence and energy. When you connect with those independent intelligences, those deities, whatever you want immediately happens. Whatever result you want, worship with rites those divine energies who are the personification of those specific actions. Immediate results are achieved by connecting with those deities. In this world, this can be a powerful method through which you can achieve whatever you want in your life. Now that is the background of the science of Hindu temples. Temple being one of the major pillars, the central pillars in the Kailasa ecosystem. The COVID care protection centers are also centered around the spiritual lifestyle, temple-based lifestyle in all the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. If one would like to join the COVID Care Protection Center, you can register now at the link https://kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. It is https://kailasa.org/KAILASACARE. So let's take a few seconds now to register ourselves at this link, and then we'll move right into the next portion of this segment.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being, Paramashakti. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashiva will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else. Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being, Paramashakti. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashiva will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else.
Now into the next portion, which is Kailasa's temple ecosystems. Kailasa is a place where everything related to superconsciousness is revived. All the sampradayas, all the spiritual ecosystems created for enlightenment will be revived and established in such a way it never gets lost again. They're forever serving the humanity. And now, for revival of the Hindu temple ecosystems, what is Swamiji's guidance, vision, reminder? Let us watch on this video.
I am going to revive Hinduism by setting up a model community, enlightenment ecosystem. I am going to create absolutely from the scratch newly. Self-sustaining, temple-based, Hindu ancient enlightenment ecosystem and civilization based on that. Understand? Kailasa is reviving the ancient Hindu enlightened civilization. Paramashiva himself manifested this Kailasa Mandala, the enlightenment ecosystem, and the lifestyle I am going to revive this whole enlightenment ecosystem, Kailasa, by creating a model Kailasas all over the world.
The adulation
The-
of
The adulation of violence in recent lifestyle has enabled disruption in several nations, affecting millions of lives with mental distress, physical health, ailments, defalcation of food supply, and pinpointed destruction to the infrastructure of several countries. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, has dedicated his life and made it his mission to bring the global peace from ground level through the Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship and the Department of Human Services. To bring harmony in humanity, to create life of freedom and peace for every individual on the planet through the revival of the temple ecosystems. Joshua Gordon, the director of National Institute of Mental Health, pointed out that the environmental factors present both risk and protective influences on mental health. He grouped such factors into three types. Individual factors such as microbiome. Natural and built components includes green spaces, housing and highways, which play an important role in the health disparities. Third one is the social factors like family structure, poverty, and other social determinants of health. From 1994 to this date, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has worked tirelessly in the revival of temple ecosystems globally. Through Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship and the Department of Human Services led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, this lifelong commitment to mission and vision of bringing global harmony, sustainable living, and reproducible ecosystems has been proven in building active, contributing temple ecosystems around the world. On 21st of October 2006, following a meditation under the sacred banyan tree in Adi Kailasa, peacekeepers of Kailasa, along with the children of Nityananda Gurukul, celebrate the auspicious occasion of Deepavali. On 22nd of December 2018, the peacekeepers of Kailasa and the participants of PARASHAKTI meditation workshop take part in the celebrations of the traditional flag hoisting ceremony. On 14th December 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducting the Nityananda Spurana Convention, a meditation workshop in Chennai. On 17th of December 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducting the Nityananda Spurana Convention program at St. Peter's Engineering College. On 26th of May 2006, the peacekeepers of Kailasa and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism embarked on the Himalayan Yatra, the traditional sacred pilgrimage to the Himalayan mountains and up the river Ganga. On 20th of December 2011, a temple ecosystem of Tiruvannamalai serves as the driving factor in maintaining the lifestyle of health, wealth, and well-being for all the denizens of Tiruvannamalai, one of the remaining living temple ecosystems. On 31st of December 2018, the peacekeepers of Kailasa and the participants of Paramashivoham meditation workshop take part in the morning meditation and the traditional puja or the ritualistic worship. The distribution of sweet butter as part of Krishna Janmashtami celebrations, celebration of Lord Krishna's birth on 17th of August 2014. So what we are basically seeing is the wide range of celebrations that the temple ecosystems have taken up in spreading the world peace, in spreading the philosophy of oneness. Playfully colorful celebrations of Krishna Janmashtami on 17th of August 2014. As part of the Krishna Janmashtami celebrations, the peacekeepers of Kailasa are distributing free organic food to the public. 11th of September 2016, the peacekeepers of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, take part in Karaseva, the voluntary contribution of physical service towards the cleaning or construction of the sacred Hindu temple. On 2nd January 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism arrives with the volunteers and Kailasa's peacekeepers to provide relief efforts to the cyclone-hit Pondicherry region through the distribution of food, water, and basic necessities, medical camps, and clearing the local roads for further relief efforts. On 4th of January 2012, Thane flood relief food preparations. January 2012, you can see how the medical camps were organized for Thane flood relief. So, a glimpse of all the Kailasa's temple ecosystems around the world. You can see almost in all the continents, you have several temple ecosystems established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Chiraguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Swamiji. What you're seeing here is on 1994, Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai, which is traditionally being passed on to the hands of Swamiji by his Guru. And in 2017, the same Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai receiving visitors and delegates for the Kalpataru meditation workshop and Shivadiksha. You can see here how in Kailasa in Tiruvannamalai, Swamiji himself serving the Anadan and take parting in the traditional temple services. Thousands of people arrive to celebrate the temple ecosystems and to traditionally meet and receive blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Next, what you're seeing is the some other temple ecosystems, like for example, the Tiruchenkodu Savanya Peetham, Adi Nityananda Peetham, the first temple established by Swamiji at the age of 23 on the banks of the sacred Kaveri River. This was the start of the borderless Hindu temple ecosystems we know today as Kailasa. After having the vision of sacred banyan tree, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had established the Adi Kailasa temple ecosystem with the same banyan tree at its heart. Through the live stream of sacred banyan tree and deities, the temple ecosystems of Adi Kailasa is continuously being made available to one and all wherever they are. continuous flow of worship and the temple services in Adi Kailasa Nityananda Peetham in Vidvi. The first temple established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, India, the temple physically came to life in just 9 months. The Kailasa in Columbus, Ohio. The chief presiding deities of the temple are Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva and Devi Nityanandeshwari Parashakti, which are like 7 feet tall granite weighing 6 tons, and their divine faces have been directly hand carved by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Kailasa in Los Angeles, the temple that's been firstly inaugurated in 2005, then established in its permanent location in 2007, that houses the largest Shivalinga and Rajarajeshwari Devi in North America. As a 25,000 square feet temple complex housing 80 plus deities, it is one of the largest Hindu temple ecosystems in the world. Kailasa in Los Angeles, California. Kailasa in Seattle, housing the blissful dancing form of Ganesha and the largest living Nataraja deity outside of India. Kailasa in Seattle is also known as Chidambaram of the West. Kailasa in San Jose, California, that was inaugurated in 2009, radiates the energy of the Madurai Meenakshi temple. The chief presiding deities of the temple are Devi Meenakshi, Shivalinga, Lord Nityanandeshwara, and Devi Nityanandeshwari, which has been created, installed, and energized by the Swamiji himself. Alongside the Shivalinga and Nityananda Ganesha, Kailasa in St. Louis carries the energy of Tirumala Tirupati of South India and houses one of the tallest Venkateshwara deities in North India. Next, we have Kailasa in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a home to over 21 deities with a temple structure of 2,500 square feet. Kailasa in Phoenix have been directly established by Swamiji, serving as an energy field of meditation, worship, and celebration for over 7 years. Next, we have is Kailasa in Houston, that is formally inaugurated in 2017. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has declared the Kailasa in Houston as the Parihara Sthala of all the Navagraha doshas. Kailasa in Toronto, that's active and alive from 2011 onwards, which has been blessed to radiate the superconscious energy of Kailasa that goes on providing various temple services to the community such as Annada and traditional Hindu ceremonies. Kailasa's Department of Religion and Worship, Department of Human Services, and each of Kailasa's temple ecosystems consider the right to be happy as the fundamental happy of all the human beings, the ultimate goal of Hinduism that is led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam. His Divine Holiness Swamiji is the material and spiritual well-being and prosperity of humanity. So we welcome you all to join the COVID Care Protection Centers. You can register in the link through kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. We welcome one and all to experience the significance and the impact of these amazing temple ecosystems on one's consciousness that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Swamiji has established and revived over 26 years. So we invite one and all to register yourself in kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. So let's take a few minutes to register ourselves before we go to the next segment.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being, PARASHAKTI. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashiva will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else. Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being, PARASHAKTI. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashiva will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job.
परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution.
Nityanandam. Welcome back to all of the viewers who are joining us today for this program as we enter into this next segment in today's program, the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We have been in a marathon series of spreading awareness about the Hindu Holocaust and the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Every single day at this time, and also we have been doing every single day, every single evening and morning, we have been ensuring that we at least spend a few minutes and request the listening of all of the viewers and share the story, the untold story of the Hindu Holocaust. It is at this time that we absolutely need to understand the need for the nation of Kailasa and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the last hope for Hinduism itself. This segment is a presentation of what has been happening for the last 700 to 1,000 years in the history of Hinduism, and how today, with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the persecution, the acts of violence, the outright denial of human rights, and even the subject and assassination attempts against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism have literally been attacks, not just against one being, but against the entire Hinduism itself. Hinduism, for the last 1,000 years, has been slowly falling. And each and every one of us Hindus, if we are identifying in any way as a Hindu, has to know this. We have no right, we have no grounds to be in denial of a Holocaust that is going on, while our brothers and sisters, while our revered sannyasis, while the people whom we worship, whom we see as God, are each and every one falling, becoming vulnerable to attacks every single day. It is not right if we turn a blind eye to the crimes against the Hindus across the world. whatever we are enjoying today, whether it is a stable family, whether it is having the best education and being prepared, well grounded enough to have high ambitions in the world and to become the best doctors, have the best careers, and become the best engineers as well. In each field, Hindus have been in the best of their field and have been showing how we have inherited literally the best culture and background. Because it's only because of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma and our culture inherent inside of our blood and bones that today we are enjoying some of the best things in the world. But if we turned a blind side to the amount that Hinduism is at loss, that we are diluting Hinduism, that we are literally selling our own mother, Vedamata, and if we are turning a blind eye to all of these atrocities that are happening against Hinduism, then our next generation and future generations are likely to suffer like so many people who have not been able to see the best of the world as we have. Now, even the Devi Parashakti, as she is manifesting through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has revealed that it is Hindus, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam, the people who are birthed into Sanatana Hindu Dharma, as in they are blessed to be born in as Hindus with Hindu parents, have immense rights in this world, but we also have immense responsibility. Among that responsibility today is to ensure that our voice, that our story, the untold story of the Hindu Holocaust, is made into museums, is told to the world, is recognized. Finally, after decades, the UN, the Human Rights Commission of the UN, has recognized a portion of the persecution that has happened against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And finally, we have at least had that reprieve. But each and every one of us Hindus is still responsible for ensuring that we continue to tell our story and bring out the untold story of the Hindu Holocaust to the world, of Hindus, not just Hindus, but what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone just to bring each and every one of us Kailasians this great Hindu nation. Today, we'd like to continue presenting to each and every one of you what happened in 2012, in April of 2012, until the end of the year, how an onslaught of attacks we have seen against the ancient Hindu kingdom of Madurai and the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. On April 29th of 2012, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Madurai Adinam, or the Kailashonnata Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. Within just a few months, there was so much bubbling, bright, celebratory energy around Madurai, where 10,000 people in the surrounding areas and the communities at distance had all been celebrating literally the incarnation of Meenakshi once again reigning in Madurai itself. But within just 1 month, even though the amount of tremendous work the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was doing towards reviving the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, there was an onslaught of attack against the appointment of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, which was absolutely illegal and preposterous, which was blatantly an attack against Hindus, an attack against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and the anti-Hindu militant forces who have literally gone to every extent to illegally arrest the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism just 2 years back in 2010 and keep him in prison for 53 days and ensure that he had to go through the third degree torture at their hands. Another attempt that they made was in 2012 with an onslaught of more than 50 cases filed within just a month, and so many different attacks which had hurt, literally hospitalized the sannyasis of the sovereign order of Kailasa, who were initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism directly, and attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. We saw some of the most brutal attacks. While on one side, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had successfully revived the Shamalapita Sarvajñapita and had brought to life the indigenous kingdom of Madurai and the surrounding areas. And finally, at long last, even in Madurai, all of the Hindus were celebrating that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was there, literally living with them. Now, within just a course of a few months, the media mafia, as well as the lawfare that was used as tactics to pursue a huge attack against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which was trying to stop the efforts of reviving the ancient indigenous Hindu kingdom of the Shamalapita Sarvajñapita. Now today, in this segment, we'll be presenting how these attacks had happened. Actually, from the beginning, we'll be presenting the revival efforts, the huge amount of work that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism did for reviving the ancient Hindu kingdom, but then what in turn the anti-Hindu militant forces had done against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Hours of hate speech spread on the media, lies and absolute fabricated allegations being used as baseless cases against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and so much being spread, and so many attacks, physical, brutal attacks against the sannyasis of the Nityananda order and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. We would want to present to each and every one of you what happened in Madurai in 2012, and we hope you stay tuned and understand the amount that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing and the state of Hinduism in even one of the boiling pots, the cultural cities of the whole of Bharata, Madurai. We'll just be right back with you and continue this segment on the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism after a very quick break.
Nityananda Paramashivoham Om 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 Nityananda Paramashivoham Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda.
Welcome back to all the viewers. Before we begin today's segment, I request each and every one of you to take a few minutes and ensure that you are sharing the link in the scroll down below. Now, the UN has finally recognized, even it might be one of the portions of the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the women of Kailasa. The UN has finally recognized and given us a platform, at least, to be able to bring out our voice in about the attacks done against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Hinduism in its entirety. The Human Rights Commission of the United Nations has recognized Kailasa as one among the persecuted communities that they see have been through the denial of human rights in their and as one of their basic necessities, and have seen the evidences for the violence that we have provided in a report. The link for the report is in the scroll below, so please ensure that you are going to that link, exploring a little bit, seeing and reading the story of the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And this particular subject that the UN is featuring is the persecution on the rights of the women of Kailasa, and how just for protecting the equality of women's rights, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone so many attacks and so much of persecution. So please take a few minutes and share, not just with your friends and family, but please also consider who might be interested. Let's take a few minutes and even just think in your circles of friends who might be interested in hearing the story of all the survivors of the different attacks, the most atrocious attacks against Kailasa, and who might be willing to spend a few minutes and share further. So let us ensure that as Hindus, we're taking responsibility for the persecution that still continues on until today. I really ask each and every one of you who is joining today, please make sure that you take a few minutes and share the link below. And not only that, if you know or would like to tweet at different Hindu leaders and notable people who are interested in Hinduism, then they will be interested in the stories of survivors who have taken up this lifestyle, who've taken up the Hindu lifestyle and literally given up everything in order to live this beautiful lifestyle. And for that very reason, and nothing else, going through so much of attack. So now we will begin understanding the whole timeline of what has happened in the Kailashonata Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pita. So I request the slides can be projected.
परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द 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 परमशिवोऽहम्
Model community. Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world.
All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem.
I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you.
We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become Kailasians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great
to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is
Nityanandam. So let us now understand and begin with the origin of the Kailashonata Dvadashanta Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. This kingdom is the ruling seat of Madurai, which was established in the midst of time by Lord Paramashiva and later revived by Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara. And here is the original Guru Parampara, Lord Sundareshwara, Devi Meenakshi, and then the Madurai Adinam, the Kailashonata Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, was revived by Tirugnana Sambandar, who is there on the right hand side. So this is the oldest Hindu papal lineage. And as you can see here, the 288th Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam and the 289th Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. So just with the number 288, that calculates to even more than 3,000 years of history for the Madurai Adinam, for this ancient indigenous kingdom. The next slide, please. There is records of all of the Guru Mahasannidhanams who are the sovereign leaders, literally worshipped and revered as the gurus, the Raja Gurus of the whole kingdom, and surrounding all of Madurai and all of the villages and all of this, the different temples, the different heritage sites, and all of the ecosystems surrounding Madurai. The Guru Mahasannidhanams were serving as the sovereign leaders, and they had all the rights. They were the sovereign leaders of each of these Hindu countries. We can go on to the next slide. Yes, as you can see, it is very clear the ancient lineage of the Guru Mahasannidhanams from Tirugnana Sambandar himself. Tirugnana Sambandar is worshipped as a incarnation of Paramashiva himself, and his different leelas and different devotion to Paramashiva has been exemplified throughout the annals of the history of Hinduism. So here we have even the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam and the 93rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. The next slide, please.
Here you can see Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being declared as the 293rd Mahasannidhanam, actual coronation ceremony happening 27th of April 2012.
And actually, in fact, the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam had just a few months before his coronation and his declaration to coronate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he had a dream, a divine vision of Paramashiva himself saying that and instructing him to coronate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam. So thus, within just a few months, the arrangements were made. The 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamalapita Sarvagnapitam had ordained the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam, and as you can see, the entire lineage is very straightforward and has finally in the hand of the Supreme Pontiff himself. Yes. So after the coronation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, immediately the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism began living and residing in Madurai itself. And from the morning until the night, until the every single day, the different activities were literally bustling in and around the Adinam, in a different array of activities. We can go on to the next slide.
Here you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the oldest Hindu papal state of Madurai Adinam. Various pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd and going to the temple. This is inside the Madurai Adinam, along with 292nd Pontiff doing the Parartha Puja, which all the pontiffs, they do that every single day. As long whenever they are in the Madurai Adinam, they do the Parartha Puja, the puja in Adinam itself. And here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism celebrating the 5-day Trignana Sambandha Guru Puja festival, which is an ancient tradition being followed in the Madurai Adinam, along with a host of other religious and service activities.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had gone and spearheaded the restoration and revival projects of all of the temples which come under the Madurai Adinam, including the Kanjur temple, the Sachinathar temple, and the Alagar Kovil temple, and the Panniga Parameshwar temple. Here we have a video of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and going to the grounds of the temple, the Kanjur temple, and direct all of the different projects that were going on that he has about how
மாணிக்கம் துவாபரத்தாமிரமாம் உயர் துவாபரத்தாமிரமாம் கலியுகம் உய்ய அருணாச்சல இந்த கலியுகம் உய்ய அருணாச்சல திரு மலையென எழுந்தவனே நித்ய அருணாச்சல சிவனே அருணாச்சல சிவனே.
Yes, you can see the Supreme Court of Hinduism visiting various temples that belong to the Shamalapika Sarvagya Peetham. All these were immediately upon the coronation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism visited the various temples, started the whole revival and restoration process. Here you can see the revival and the restoration process of all the 4 major temples belonging to the oldest Hindu-Papal state, the Shamalapika Sarvagya Peetham. Supreme Pontiff himself gets on the ground, cleaning the temple, dusting the temple, meeting the various temple authorities, doing the complete revival and the restoration process. Hundreds of volunteers came from all over the world just by looking at the sheer hard work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, just the Tyaga. Not only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is being worshipped inside the Sanctum Sanctorum as the main deity, Paramashiva himself. He himself is cleaning his own temple, a sight which no disciple could even fathom. Compassion and the hard work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here you can see the Supreme Pontiff wearing headscarf and cleaning the temple himself. They're also used to the pontiffs coming and being received with respect and with all the traditional respect and attending to the rituals. Here you see the pontiff who is so active and on the ground and doing everything, leading the way and being an example for all of us, just by sheer hard work and Tyaga and the compassion of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism inspired hundreds of volunteers from all over the world come over just to be a part of this huge revival and the restoration process.
And this restoration process was so important to the whole, as these ancient heritage sites were extremely ancient, extremely important to Hinduism, and each of these, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, spent so many resources, and volunteers from around the world had come in order to ensure that these restoration processes were happening. Inside of the Madurai Adinam as well, as you can see, every single day the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had engaged the different Adinavasis and all of the public of Madurai in the Nityananda Satsang, as you can see here. All these pictures are from the Nityananda Satsang, delivering the great, profound spiritual truths. Preceding that, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism literally met with all of the different subjects of the ancient Hindu kingdom. So many thousands every single day swarmed, crowded, just to have at least one glimpse of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and himself would make himself so available to bless, to heal, to give boons, blessings to everyone who came to see him.
Here you can see the Supreme Pontiff blessing the people of Madurai, who literally felt it was Meenakshi and Sundareshwara has come back again to bless this beautiful town, the enlightenment ecosystem of Madurai. And all the tradition was revived. The tradition of offering the enlightenment milk, the tradition of Annadan, the tradition of the medical tests, everything was revived. Annadan, the free food served at least 2,000 people every day. The organic supplement meals were provided.
And also the Annadan meals were provided 24/7. So at any time, if anyone wanted to come and have food, they could have food. In fact, some of even the policemen who had been around the area had come and said, Swamiji, the crime rate has drastically reduced in and around Madurai as well.
Not just Annadan. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, just because the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was feeding people, and he was literally feeding thousands of people every single day, the amount of theft had reduced because people were feeling so fulfilled, not need to do any kind of thievery, any kind of robbery, if they just wanted some food.
And not just a free Annadan, not just the Annadan, offering the free organic sattvic meals, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also inaugurated the free multi-speciality medical camp. So people could come get not just the spiritual healing from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, but also the physical diagnosis and as well the medical advice and the medical tests were done and a diagnosis was done as well. So from all aspects, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism did everything that he could do to reach out to the public, to offer services, free food, free medical care, free education, programs, free darshan, free satsangs, everything was offered free of cost. The whole city of Madurai was vibrating the divine presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. There you can see the doctors from around the world coming and offering their free medical services at the free multi-speciality medical camp. And the Hindu leaders.
Yes. So from around India, Hindu organizations, leaders of Hindu organizations, as well as the leaders of different mathas and different the Hindu organizations had all come to request the time of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, had all come to support in the revival initiatives that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was doing in the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. So here you see
how the various religious leaders and Hindu leaders had come to support the activities and the revival of the Supreme Pontiff. And this is exactly what made the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism a target of the attack by the caste supremacists, the anti-Hindu elements, and the neo-Hindu militants, because they could not tolerate how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was literally reviving the Enlightenment ecosystem as established by Meenakshi and Sundareshwara. So on the 10th of May 2012, a lawfare was started by the caste supremacists through one M. Jagadala Pratapan, continued with several other caste supremacists filing similar false cases against the appointment of the Supreme Pontiff.
And the malicious false complainant claimed to have visited the Madurai Adinam on the night of 12th May, and he was served holy water which was spiked with intoxicants, and he reached an inebriated state, and in front of him the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and several women were in compromising positions on beds made of wet tiger skins and elephant tusks. Now, in so many different levels, these allegations were absolutely baseless, preposterous, and fabricated, and directly used to ensure attack against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. First of all, directly using the holy water, a sacred ritual, and trying to say that was spiked, when absolutely the traditions and the Hindu rituals were maintained with so much of sanctity, and all of the women there who had given their lives just to serve, who had been participating in annadans, literally around 200 were volunteers in the kitchens, serving food for the people, and they were also the doctors who were medically treating the patients who came for the medical camps. All of these were the women whom he was portraying and publicizing in the media as literally as prostitutes. And yes,
there you can see the caste supremacists used a lawyer, Jagadala Pratapan, and filed a fresh false complaint, continuing the lawfare. The whole aim was to make the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and his followers run from pillar to post, trying to attend to these stupid, baseless false cases, and that would stop revival and the restoration process. And on the 30th of April 2012, the 292nd Sannidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam asserted his power to appoint His Divine Holiness as his successor, in response to the ongoing lawfare and said His Divine Holiness himself was an incarnation of Paramashiva.
2 days earlier, on the 12th of May, the anti-Hindus filed the most absurd complaint of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, storing tiger skin inside of the Adinam, and instigated the police to conduct a raid of the Adinam as well. During these raids, first of all, looting occurred and the most vile assaults against the people and the Adinavasis, peaceful Adinavasis, had happened. A case was filed by Krishnamurti, a lawyer, to make Madurai Adinam a government property. He claimed that not only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, but also the current head of the Madurai Adinam should be expelled from the Adinam. And this was the fourth false case, again, on this subject.
Two vested interest groups headed by M. Manivasanam and Sami Tyagarajan, who were illegally occupying the Madurai Adinam property, filed a petition requesting the annulment of the appointment of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So all these were the lawfares. Hundreds of false cases were filed left, right, and center, so that the whole revival and establishment of the Enlightenment ecosystem be aborted.
And Nellai Kannan filed a petition on the 1st of August in 2012, a petition requesting approval to file a suit removing the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Pontiff. The approval for the lawsuit was denied, and this was the third false case on the same subject. And again, this was a extremely preposterous, illegal move, because first of all, when the pontiff is appointed by the predecessor, it cannot be reinstated, it cannot be taken back, and it has been in the decrees of the Madurai Adinam for thousands of years that this is the law. So filing a petition with the government is absolutely illegal, and trying to get away with doing this is trying to get away with doing this as well is a absolute illegal action that they were doing.
On the 18th of October 2012, under the pressure of the lawfare by the caste supremacist elements, the government department managing the temple filed a case against the senior pontiff and challenging the appointment of His Divine Holiness.
Anti-Hindu elements Muthu and Selvan filed a suit on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, claiming that his appointment as 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai is not valid in the subcourt of Madurai district. Again, absolutely false. On the 20th of May 2012, two sannyasis at the Madurai Adinam's Kanjanur Agnishwar temple had literally been attacked by a staged mob of anti-Hindu militants, where 100 people had come, were hired by anti-Hindu elements to beat up, chase, and terrorize the sannyasis. They escaped, but the mob had smashed their car to invoke fear inside of them, and the two sannyasis somehow managed to drive away, first to the local police station to file a complaint, and then to the hospital to get themselves admitted. As you can see, watching some of the really brutal and terrifying footage of this hired that is chasing and beating the sannyasis.
This entire mob attacking sannyasis of the monastic members of the monastic order of Supreme of the sovereign order, Kailasa. On the left here, you can see on the 16th of May 2012, His Divine Holiness exactly at the same place during the visit to the Kanjanur temple as the 293rd Pontiff, and left. Just 13 days later, mob lynch attack in and outside the Kanjanur. Here you can see Two sannyasis at the Madurai Adinam's Kanjanur Vinishwara temple, a mob of around 100 people had it. And we just explained how they tried to escape, but their car was smashed. Sannyasis somehow managed to drive away to the police station, they filed the complaint, and then to the hospital, get themselves admitted.
On the 29th of May 2020, a sannyasi and devotee of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism were physically assaulted inside the Kanjanur temple belonging to Madurai Adinam while they were there serving.
When His Divine Holiness and the 292nd Pontiff were traveling back from Kanjanur, the attackers confronted the vehicle. The police pretended to stop them. The assassins dragged the devotees Sandal Kumar and Muthukrishnan out of the escort vehicle and beat them up brutally, while His Divine Holiness and 92nd Pontiff were very much there. Here you can see the assassins dragged the devotees, the two devotees who were dragged and beaten up by the mob. Here it shows the pictures of the attack. The disciples of the Supreme Pontiff. And see how the disciples were attacked.
Yes, continuing on.
Here the protesters continue attacking His Divine Holiness, demanding the Supreme Pontiff to step down as the night return. Media hate speech continues. Here you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the famed Madurai temple. And this was the exact same place where the bomb blast happened. It was actually a created fire incident, accident. Right.
And on the 5th of March 2018, the High Court barred the entry of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism into Madurai Adinam, the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham. And the exact land where Devi. So then, just a year later, on the 29th of May 2019, a historic breakthrough happened. The exact land where Devi Meenakshi Parashakti emerged from the sacred ritual fire as a 3-year-old, and from where her throne of ruling was originally located, was acquired by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
29th of May.
And
the Supreme Pontiff revealed that Devi Meenakshi, Parashakti, the Cosmic Mother, has blessed us by giving the exact land on which she used to sit on her original throne. Kailasa Mother Shamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham in Madurai. Here you can see the spiritual and the religious activities happening in Shamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham.
And the revival of the Raja Vidya Gurukul, the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham as well. All the rituals, the revival of all the traditions was done by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Everything as per the tradition, as how this entire ecosystem was established by the Meenakshi and Paramashiva himself, is being revived by the incarnation of the Meenakshi and Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had continued the services to the people, including conducting Akashic reading sessions for public who are seeking blessings and boons for their health, wealth, and prosperity.
Nadam continues for the people of Madurai even during 19. Then you can see pictures of Shamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham right outside the main tower of the main Meenakshi temple, we have a huge Shamalapita Sarvanya Pita where sannyasis are staying even today, even during the COVID time. Annada, the free food offering, has been continuing to go on. All rituals are being performed as the part of the Shamalapita Sarvanya. Today was an attempt to present the persecution and the attack on one of the most ancient indigenous religious kingdoms of Kailasa, Shamalapita Sarvanya Peetham, as a part of the Hindu First Observance Month, July 2021. The upcoming segments of this program, we will be sharing further persecution that has happened and is still happening to Hindus. The Supreme Court of Hinduism, Kailasa. This, I'd like to conclude today's segment, and we will be moving to the next segment of today's program, which is the Kailash Courtyard Power Manifestation. Now we ending with the Ram. Namada Namida Purnamudachyate Asya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nityananda Parameshwara Padukarpanamastu Om Nityananda.
Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Nityananda Paramashivoham Om 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 परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द 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 परमशिवोऽहम्
Nityanandam, Jnanapatati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadushnam Tattvanasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift. Playing life. Playing with being alive.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explains what is power manifestation. It's a cognitive shift, becoming more alive and real, the existential reality that we are. Now, let's go to science of power manifestation. It is called science because it is repeatable and all of us can experience the superconscious breakthrough. And beautifully, the evidences for each of these manifestations for us to understand the deeper science of power manifestation. Shastra Pramana, the scriptural references, the eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and Agamas. Apta Pramana, the experience and the results of the Aptas, the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamas, Alvars, Siddhas, all of them are authority of Hinduism, manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatars, personal experience of each power manifestation, Bhagavan's very own Leelas. Bhagavan has beautifully manifested all these powers as per the Shastra and as per the Apta Pramana, showing us how the human can have a superconscious breakthrough and manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Shakshi Pramana, experience of the millions of the disciple, devotees, followers all around the world manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan has beautifully said, whoever comes to the Kailash Kotiyar manifesting power group, simply I will be there, my presence will be there and manifest as your reality. Bhagavan himself has initiated all of us into the science of power manifestation here in this Kailash Kotiyam. Pratyaksha Pramana. Pratyaksha Pramana is the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Clearly, Bhagavan has shown that the devotees, the Balasans and himself has gone through the scientific study, and there is no thoughts manifesting all these powers of Paramashiva. Purely in enlightened state that we experience the oneness and manifest as powers. Beautifully, Bhagavan has given the Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana, consciousness. Bhairava, one who experiences consciousness beyond the mind. Tantra is the method. Like how you have the methods in the science or in any of the manufacture, same way we have the science of power manifestation, step-by-step method. And this is beautifully given in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, 95 Dharana, Sutra 120, for the power of consciousness over matter.
Of consciousness over matter, silicon, is taken from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. क्वचित् वस्तुनि विन्यस्य शनैर्दृष्टिं निवर्तयेत् तज्ज्ञानं चित्तसहितं देवी शून्यालयो भवेत् क्वचिद् वस्तुनि विन्यस्य शनैर्दृष्टिं निवर्तयेत् तज्ज्ञानं चित्तसहितं देवी शून्यालयो भवेत्.
Bhagavan Parameshwar says, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, Vastu, withdraw the sight from that object, as well as slowly eliminate the knowledge of the object with the thoughts and impression of it. Then, O Devi, one abides in Sunya, the state where there is nothing other than this exists, which is the state of all-inclusiveness, infinity. Bhagavan Parameshiva has beautifully given us that if you withdraw from what you know as your identity and all the thoughts relating to it, all the knowledge relating to it, and then what will you be left with? That is consciousness. What is that you experience in the deep sleep? What is that you experience in the dream state? What is there still happening as your reality right now? Bhagavan beautifully says that which you cannot forget, that which you cannot remember, and that which remembers you is the consciousness, the Paramashiva space in us, which is manifested as our reality continuously, as matter, as mind, which is also matter, and as your reality itself. When we perceive the whole thing from a higher consciousness, that we are consciousness, we are not just the matter, we are the matter also. We can perceive whatever perception we are experiencing as matter is also only in the logical mind. But something beyond is there. Once Ramakrishna Paramahamsa wanted to train Vivekananda. For 6 years, Vivekananda did not give in at all. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa will be behind people just to make sure they understand the whole science of oneness, if he knows they are interested in the higher science and higher reality. So he did not give up on